All right, everyone. Welcome to the weekend recap of Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. All right, we're going to the numbers. Let's do it. Number time. All right, at the time of this recording, the block height is 699,204. The Bitcoin price, 51,560. Chain rewrite days, 885. Total public lightning capacity, 2,356.51. Sats per dollar, 1,939. And the blocks to the halving, 140,796.
Man,
that number is just the same every day.
Dude, it's the same, but I'm telling you, bro, the signal here, I don't know if it's signal. I'm totally making that up. But it could be signal, is that it's weird, bro, because when the lightning capacity goes down or stays the same, the price goes up. That's very strange.
Yeah, it is. I didn't even, you know what, this is what we were talking about before. I never really noticed the price, except when we get these nice big dips. Yeah. I can actually just go and buy it. But it's pretty crazy. Like, we're nonchalantly sitting above 50K and no one cares.
Nope.
No one cares, which is fine.
The second time around is sour, bro.
It is. It is. It's pure bitterness.
It took our soul away, staying there at 50K for so. You know that meme with the guy from Forrest Gump, the guy in the wheelchair, where like it's like New Year's and he just stays the same with that face. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro. We're in that position right now.
We're like, yeah, we've seen this before. We this is a rerun.
Yeah. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. Of course, it's not only the weekend edition of Simply Bitcoin, but as you can see, you have both of us fools together in the same place. Okay? So, yeah, we're going to do two fails today. Anyway.
Two special edition in-person fails.
Two special edition in-person fails. Let's dive in. All right, here we go. First one is an exchange hack. BTC cryptocurrency exchange deletes the website following a crucial hack. Oh, nice. It's a way to help your customers out.
It's the future of finance, bro.
That's right. The future of finance. Here we go. Let's dive in. A less prominent cryptocurrency exchange, BTC, confirms a major hacking incident on its platform. In addition, the exchange reports some fund losses from the attack on its platform's ERC20 hot wallet. I saw some fool today talking about how Ethereum is going to be green or ultra green money. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make it. Anyways, these guys, I don't know where they pull these people out from.
What did I tell you all weekend?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I swear.
I'll say it one more time, guys. Shitcoiners sound like socialists. Now you won't unsee it.
You know what? We'll add the link to the show notes so that people can, if they want to dive in and go take a look at that thread, they can. But okay. I couldn't help but dump on this guy for I don't know how long. I didn't even check to see what he responded. Anyways, okay. I digress. This had nothing to even do with ETH being a shitcoin, really. It really had to do with the exchange hack, so we're focusing. BTC cryptocurrency exchange is yet to announce the dollar value of the hacked digital assets. However, speculations from some unconfirmed reports put the total loss to be about $450 million.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Anyways, obviously we could see there isn't very much more on that one. The lesson with that one is, as always, it's not your keys, it's not your coin. We don't care how nice the exchange look, how flashy it is, how great all the little features are. They can put all the 2FA they want. That doesn't stop any of this crap.
Yep.
It totally doesn't, and we see it time and time again. Mm-hmm. Even Binance has been hacked, and then they paused it. Right? Like, even they have had issues and they paused it. So we can clearly see it doesn't matter how big your exchange is. Don't keep it there.
$450 million is a bigger type of issue, bro.
You know what, though? Anyways, I hope we get some more info on that to find out the exact dollar amount. But that does seem pretty interesting. Okay, moving on from exchanges. Okay, we are going to dive into some psychotic, weird censorship thing. Okay, we're going to give a shout out to one of our awesome listeners, Sai, or at ICO Sanat. Anyways, I destroyed his name. I apologize. So yeah, he started off with this and added me. He goes, "Thank God we have such benevolent caretakers. I might spend my money wrong if it were not for such saintly wardens." Indeed. Thank you for taking care of us. What's he talking about? All right, so John Paul Koenig posted this tweet. Okay. Mastercard prohibits the sale of any product or service that is patently offensive and lacks serious artistic value. That could be literally anything. What does patently mean? What is offensive? How does Mastercard litigate artistic value? These are all great questions. Great questions. And what does Mastercard know about art anyways? They're a freaking payment rail, and not like a third level payment rail. Anyways, let's dive into the actual screenshot here. Okay. The corporation considers any of the following activities to be in violation of the rule. The sale or offer of sale of a product or service other than in full compliance with law then applicable to the acquirer, issuer, merchant, cardholder, cards, or the corporation. Okay, see that point number one, that's all corporate legal speak, okay? That means absolutely nothing to the average person, okay? This is to protect them and not you. Anyways, anyway, most of that language is always to protect them and never you. I digress. The sale of a product or service, including an image, which is patently offensive and lacks serious artistic value. That's where we stop.
That's a slippery slope, my friend.
What does Mastercard have to do with any of that? Why do we when did they become wardens? Right? That Sai used perfect wording. Like, do they have like special I don't understand. Like, do they have special people working for them that understand how to analyze the artistic value of and also what's considered to be truly offensive? And it's you open up a big thing because everything is offensive to everyone now.
Dude, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think that's where it gets slippery, Phil, because it's like that, and I always go back to the First Amendment in this country, right? The reason that the First Amendment is the way it is because the person who gets to decide, in this case, right, what is artistic, what isn't artistic, is essentially God, right? And they could start censoring stuff that they don't like, or that could be potentially damage to Mastercard, or if they're politically compromised, right, like we're seeing recently in this country in particular, man. Like, who's to say, just in the sample, we're not political on the show, but who's to say they won't go after conservative art, right? Who's to say that doesn't happen? And again, I only say conservative art because in this moment in history, right, the conservatives are being, hunted, I guess that's a term. But yeah, man, it's such a slippery slope. And look, but wouldn't you say this was inevitable, Phil?
Oh,
like
100%.
A centralized system, this was always going to happen. But
of all companies, Mastercard, like, you'd think that they'd be at least smart enough, right? Like, if you're gonna go and screw us like this, like, why don't you create like the Art Association or something? Like try to make it sound legit. Instead, this is a freaking credit card company. Man, and I'm sorry, I apologize. The payment rails, right? Because they don't actually, Mastercard does not actually issue any debt. Okay, like they don't. Essentially, they are just a logo and a payment network with services. But the other piece to this is, right, the other piece of it is that, okay, well, oh man, I forgot the point. I hate it. It had to do with the censorship aspect. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the other piece of it was this that you mentioned. So what happens if what happens if art comes out that is somewhat offensive to one of their biggest customers?
God.
Sorry, you can't do that.
But this is such a good advertisement for Bitcoin, bro. Yeah. Like, it's literally, this is another reason why Bitcoin. It's an alternative payment rail, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it is, right? And it also happens to have absolute scarcity. It also happens to be the hardest money that was ever existed. But yeah, man, and look, and I'm calling it out, Phil. That this is gonna get worse, right? Because the world is heading to governments have absolutely lost their minds, bro. So who's to say that someone just doesn't tap on Mastercard's shoulder, like we saw with Elon early on this year, says, hey, that art is offensive to me, and it's scary stuff.
It's true. You know what, artists, time to learn about Bitcoin, okay? Because that is going to be your new form of payment, where people, whether they're offended or not, if they want to pay you for your art, they will, and there's nothing the government can do to stop them.
Zero.
Okay? It's Bitcoin time.
Absolutely. Bitcoin time. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21. All right, everybody, the meme for today is brought to us by a fellow plebe. And guess what he did? He put this meme in our Telegram group so we could review it because it's a meme review. So join the Telegram group. It's down below. Anyways, the meme is brought to us by Honk Hogan, BTC. Anyways, let's check it out. Dude, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. NWO, Tyranny, IRS, IMF, evil motherfuckers. Digital ID. I love how he put digital ID because that is really passport ID or the whatever, you know, because that's the foot in the door. That's the justification, right? It's for your safety. We're beating the shit out of citizens all over the world for the public health. Remember, it's for the public health.
Of course.
Anyways.
It's always for the health in this.
Goddamn scary. Central CBDCs, the Great Reset, the state, and just the lonely Bitcoiner. He's protected by an orange force field. And he says freedom. He's got the laser eyes. Orange. Man, amazing meme. Amazing meme. What would you give that meme, Phil?
You know what? Honk's been really stepping it up. I've been noticing that like he's been putting out some really good work out there. And you know what? As a result, I'm giving it the only item that I actually have here at Nico's house. This bottle of water.
A bottle of water, bro. You hear that, Honk? You could survive only on the bottle of water. And if you get bored, you could also play video games. I'm going to give it an red Xbox controller for the special meme by Honk. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
I'm going to use my Moon wallet, non-KYC, it's non-custodial, magic internet freedom money to pay for this coffee. I'm going to write a little note. I'm going to send. And instant final settlement, which is great.
Dude, that is so fucking crazy.
Uh-oh. So what happened? How come he wasn't standing there for 10 minutes?
But wait,
like all the shitcoiners have us believe, oh yeah, no one's gonna stand there for 10 minutes and wait for that transaction.
Wasn't that instant payments for coffee?
That was instant payments.
I
for
thought
coffee.
we needed bigger blocks. What's going on here?
Somebody get Roger. Where's Roger? I'm sure that he could have just paid somebody to do that demo. Oh wait, that's what he does. It's exactly what he does, though. I swear to God, like you see him, like whenever you watch those videos, those people look like they're held hostage. Yes. Like, sure, I will take your Bcash.
Man, dude, but it's crazy, bro. Because look,
awesome.
Two things happening here, right? It's destroying the shitcoin narratives.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's instant settlement. What you said an instant settlement, right? It's not like, because that's the thing with Mastercard.
Yeah.
Right. It's that like it's not instant settlement. It takes like a week, five days, 5 business days. This instant settlement, and the other part is that Phil, you can go to El Salvador right now. You don't have to convert anything. Right? Like if you come from Europe and you have euros, you don't have to convert those euros. It's you just spend your Bitcoin if you want to.
Yep.
Right? And with Strike, you could spend your fiat money. It automatically converts it to the Lightning, and then you could pay you can buy your coffee with that instead. But man, if you don't see how that's the future, you're kidding yourself. And another thing, there's no reason that your token should exist, as that pointed out. Right? What's the point of your shitcoin?
Well, at this point now, the shitcoin narratives have morphed, right? Like now it's doing all kinds of other things, right? We've got JPEGs in them.
Oh,
and
that's right.
We've got DeFi, right?
JPEGs.
Which is really CeFi, you know? So it's centralized finance that's made to look, and it's not even finance. Like let's not bullshit, right? It's just a whole bunch of, essentially to me, it's just a bunch of liquidity that is designed to be rug pulled.
Yep.
So, and it's not even that much liquidity. So I don't even understand why it is that they're doing what they do, but after being in the space for as long as we've been in the space, the only thing that I could say is that, plain and simple, they're just here to scam you for your Bitcoin.
Yep.
And this is what we've been saying, right? Like that's what it is. It's a trade-off, because if they can get you to believe that you're buying the next Bitcoin, then you're gonna go and you're gonna give them your Bitcoin, because you're gonna sit there and think, this is the next one. But what you don't understand is that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. And I totally forget whose quote I'm ripping off, but somebody else made that up and I loved it. And you know, it's true. It's absolutely quote. It's true.
It's a phenomenal quote, dude.
Exactly.
But man, you could see how that's the future. You're kidding yourself if you don't see that. I hope Steve Hanke sees that video, man.
They won't see anything. They're paid. They are paid
to be blind.
To be blind.
Okay, I can definitely see that.
Like you know,
that.
He's gonna see the video and he's gonna go, "That's for criminals."
Yeah.
It's like no, but he just bought coffee, crime coffee.
No, and I want to point out that I think her name was Carla. I might be mistaken here, but she got tips from all over the world, right? When that happened.
That's criminal. That's what that is, Nico.
That's criminal. So, and you guys are going to see this on Monday. So on Tuesday, the world is never going to be the same. Bitcoin is becoming legal tender in El Salvador. It's going to be the shot heard across the world, and it's going to be incredible. Speaking of...
They're going to see this tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought you said they're going to see this Tuesday.
No. El Salvador becomes legal tender Tuesday.
Yeah.
Did I slip up on the word? Let me contrast with Steve Hankey's system. Check out this, this was a tweet. She's been covering Afghanistan, right? And this is in Afghanistan. Western Union, these are people lining out, like, outside of banks, right? They're literally, this is the alternative to essentially what Alex Gladstein was showing here, right? This is the alternative, right? The alternative is someone sends you money, you have to use a third party, right? And here, you could pay someone directly, instant settlement, no middleman, right? So alternative sucks. Anyways, meanwhile, banks are going to keep staying at the banks. Phil kind of covered this coincidentally on the fail. I'm going to also drill on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Chase Bank tells General Michael Flynn they're closing his accounts and canceling his credit cards. Claim continuing to allow the decorated veteran access to his accounts creates reputational risk.
What? How is it their business? Like, this is psychotic. Like, are you kidding me?
And here is someone was nice enough to put the screenshot of essentially the letter that they sent Michael Flynn. But look, again, we've been covering, how Western elites have fallen in love with the China model, the social credit system, and how they're trying to implement a version of that in the West. And this is just foreshadowing a little bit. You have Mastercard, which Phil covered in the Daily Fail, and now you have straight up banks just closing your accounts based on your political ideology, right? You have examples of, we just showed you a picture of Afghanistan where you wouldn't, Western Union shut off its thing. Banks shut off their thing in Afghanistan. And the only way for people to send money there, the only way for Michael Flynn to keep operating and not have to be hassled by quote unquote banks, people that hold your money, is with Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's
totally neutral. It doesn't pick a side.
Okay, so here I'm gonna take a weird stance on this, but like, imagine this, right? Imagine the system, the people that are running it completely understand that it's crumbling. So they're essentially, I'd love to believe that they're doing this on purpose to push everyone to Bitcoin.
They are. It's advertising.
It's like my ultra bullish tinfoil hat take. That like, they're doing this all on purpose to get everyone to Bitcoin, even though
Thank you, Hanky.
Hanky's like, we hate Bitcoin, and then they go off air and he's like, you stack sats yet?
Man, they're totally doing that.
I feel like that's what's happening.
No, that's exactly what's happening.
I wish that's happening, but I feel like really Steve Hankey's just a dumbass.
That's exactly what's happening. So we've been covering the meltdown of the mainstream media. This continues. They're intensifying the rhetoric like we told you they were going to do. Check out this article by the New York Times. Bitcoin uses more electricity than many countries. How is that possible? Right? And we're going to scroll all the way down. Though Bitcoin mining might not involve pickaxes and hard hats, it's not purely digital abstraction either. It is connected to the physical world of fossil fuels, power grids, and emissions, and to the climate crisis we're in today. You heard that. Bitcoin is causing the climate crisis. What was imagined as a forward-thinking digital currency has already had real-world ramifications, and those continue to mount. And why are they releasing this? Not only because of El Salvador, but also because, check out this awesome news article from CNBC. Bitcoin miners and oil and gas execs mingled at a secretive meetup in Houston. Here's what they talked about. Wow. Again, there's a lot of coincidence here. On a residential back street of Houston in a 150,000 square foot warehouse safeguarding high-end vintage cards, 200 oil and gas execs and Bitcoin miners mingled, drank beer, talked shop on a recent Wednesday night in August, using stranded natural gas to power Bitcoin mining rigs, which both reduces greenhouse gas emissions and makes money for the gas providers as well as the miners. Exercising political influence influence to educate legislators about Bitcoin was also on the agenda. So if you're wondering why the New York Times would write an article like that, it's because these people are all for the ESG. They're all about, using the climate to try to control people. Because look, we're not questioning whether climate change is real. What we're questioning, and because it's obvious, right, is that governments and politicians are using the climate to try to control their people. That's very clear, right? And unfortunately for them, Bitcoin, right, not only gives people freedom, but it actually helps solve some of the climate crisis that we apparently have, right? So it's like it's hurting them in two ways. It's taking away, right, their political influence, right? And it's destroying their narrative, right? So it sucks for them. So of course they're going to try to get on top of that. But anyways, the article goes on to say, these two groups of people may seem as though they're at opposite ends of the professional and social spectrums, but their worlds are colliding fast. As it turns out, the industries make for compatible bedfellows. Why are they compatible bedfellows? Ortolov points out, flares are only, this is the signal, Phil. Flares are only 75 to 90% efficient. Even with the flares, some of the methane is being vented without being combusted. This is when on-site Bitcoin mining could prove to be especially impactful. When the methane is run into an engine or generator, 100% of the methane is combusted and none of its leaks or vents into the air. And he goes on to say, but nobody will run it through a generator unless they can make some money.
Bingo.
Oh, look at that. Bitcoin makes it economically sustainable. That's the key, right? Because governments would like you to believe that without their ESG policies, it can't be economic, it can't be sustainable. Bitcoin not only makes it environmentally friendly, it also makes it economically sustainable. So it's a double freak out by the bureaucracy. And check this out. This is the line. This is the signal, ladies and gentlemen. There is no such thing as stranded gas anymore. I'm calling it now, and shout out to Parker Lewis because he's the one that threw the event, but I'm calling it now, Phil. Within 5 years, you're going to see the largest oil and gas companies in the world, which happens to be some of the biggest companies in the world, jumping into Bitcoin mining.
Totally agree.
It's inevitable at this point.
It really is. It absolutely is. And it's very interesting, right? So you see how that article is done? They go and they push the narrative. But you see, when their overlords decide, like when they decide something stupid, then everybody's on board, right? So like that's the hypocritical thing. So my point is that if they were having a meeting in secret, that's for your security. Okay, we're doing this for your own good. Oh my God. But the Bitcoin miners getting together with the gas companies
can't do that. Can't have that.
Man, listen,
can't have that.
That's dangerous. What are they talking about?
What is it? The word that they use?
Are they discussing freedom?
It's dangerous for democracy.
That's right. It's dangerous to the democracy. Imagine people choosing of their own free will to do business together and to talk about things and to come to conclusions and agreements. We can't have this.
Nope.
This is very dangerous. It must be stopped.
Man,
I'm already afraid.
But dude, this is.
I'm telling you, man.
Isn't it beautiful to see this meltdown?
It's a clown world.
It's
ridiculous, Like I can't believe it, right? So these people coming together to do something that doesn't require an association provides the economic incentives. Okay, that the economic incentives alone pull these groups together to start talking.
Yep.
How come they didn't need a special association? We don't need the rulers. We just need the rules. That's it. And Bitcoin provides us that. We've got the rules, so we don't need the rulers, and now we can run with it. And
the bureaucrats are very upset.
And they're scared.
Because they like making those rules.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, this is what we've said before. If we are not providing value, then we are not in the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
That is how it works. And that is how Bitcoin works. So these people, okay, they can, if they're not going to provide value into the system, then sorry, Bitcoin doesn't need you. And the only reason they're doing anything right now is because of fiat, right? Mm-hmm. When money is so cheap, you can throw it at things that make no sense.
Yep.
Hence all of our government.
The $80 billion that they left in Afghanistan?
They left it, but think of it more like it was lent to start the next war. It's lent. They're going to give it back, and it's going to come back in a different way.
Oh, man. I'm laughing, but it's true.
It's true. Look, it's the tinfoil hat, and right now people are sitting there and they're like, oh, it's just garbage what he's saying. Sure, it's garbage what I'm saying, but in 5 years from now, when you hear about some new terrorist thing out there, you're going to be like, oh my God, how did that start? This is how it started. We left them everything to start their own thing.
You know those taxes that you've worked really hard to pay? Well, that's where they're going. But yeah, man, it's crazy how much Bitcoin is changing the power dynamics, right? And it's giving so much power to the individual. And in the process of that, right, it's essentially changing the dynamics between citizens and governments. And instead of citizens being like serfs, right, or like, you know, essentially now it's going to move to a point where essentially a citizen is a customer of the government. And they're going to get to choose, right? Because Bitcoin gives you the power to vote with your wallet, but also your feet. You could bring all of that wealth with you, and you're going to go to jurisdictions that are going to treat you well. You're not going to want to stay in jurisdictions that are batshit crazy, right? It's not going to happen, right? So it's incredibly promising, but it's going to be bumpy because these bureaucrats are going to try to fight it out and keep their crazy power. That's you, Steve Hanke. Anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases.
All right, everyone. It's not hot. It's cold. The COLDCARD version 4.13 that was released, and it's down below in the show notes. Check it out.
Oh, it's so cold, so cold. Guys, check out our sponsors, awesome sponsors. You get 5% off for a Crypto Cloaks grenade, an awesome 3D printed merch. Check out below cryptocloaks.com, and of course, check out the Bitcoin Cultural Zine. Awesome stories from Bitcoin plebs, citadel21.com. Guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the mainstream media, the fiat propagandists, everyone, all the above, and the Bitcoin news from the plebe, pleb, and plebe perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.
Contrary to belief, we are not the government's customers.